All rise.
Good morning. Welcome to August docket. As always, we'll call the meeting to order, and we'll open with prayer, if you'll bow with me. Gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today, and thanks for all your many blessings. Lord, you're truly better to us than we deserve. We thank you for all the good things in our lives. We thank you for our state. And we thank you for the people, Lord, that make up our state. We pray that you would be with us as we seek to help them, that you would give us wisdom and guidance, Lord, that would help each individual, and that we would be wise in our deliberations. We thank you so much for all the good things in our lives, and thank you for the freedoms that you give us in this country. Pray that you would forgive us of our sins, forgive us where we fail you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Commissioner Stamps, you recognize to lead the pledge.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. I was going to hold this to the end of the meeting, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because I know my parents and stuff are watching now. My grandmother is 100 years old today. So my mother is our primary caregiver, and she lives in Hickory Flat, where she's born and raised in Benton County. And she's, again, it's a century old. It's hard to fathom what all happened over the last 100 years. And it's an amazing life. She brings a lot of joy to not only our family, but to those around her. So she's lived an amazing life, and I'm thankful for her, thankful for my mother and her dedication, taking care of her, and I'm truly, truly blessed to have not only two, but those two amazing women in my life that have guided and directed me through the course of my 50-plus years. So very thankful for that, and Mama, if you're listening, happy birthday. Love you. Thank y'all for letting me do that. First, we have a proposed consent docket for the agenda 2026 open meetings of the commission. Adoption of the consent docket. Is there a motion to adopt the proposed consent docket?
So moved.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, item 1 on the energy agenda is UA, docket number UA, excuse me, my grandmother. Docket number 2026 UA 26. Ms. Myrick, you're recognized to present item number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, on May 19th, Mississippi Power filed for a Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity to construct a series of modifications to the Plant Daniel 230 by 500 kV substation in Jackson County. Mississippi Power has determined that the existing 230 by 500 kV transformer bank, referred to as Auto Number 1, has reached the end of its planned in-service life expectancy and must be replaced. In addition, Mississippi Power has identified the need to construct and maintain associated equipment and circuit modifications at the Plant Daniel substation, including replacement and relocation of the 230 by 500 kV transformer bank, extension of the 500 kV bus, extension and upgrade of the 230 kV bus, and an expansion of the substation yard. This work is critical for the long-term reliability of the 500 kV transmission system, which Mississippi Power relies on to deliver dependable service, meet NERC reliability standards, and preserve a critical 500 kV interconnection with Entergy and MISO. Mississippi Power proposes replacing the existing 4 500 MVA single-phase transformers with 4 new 672 MVA single-phase transformers and relocating the transformer bank approximately 300 feet to the northeast of its current location. The work will also include extending and rerouting the 500 kV bus by installing new bus conductors, foundations, and support structures, together with installation of 2 new 500 kV switches and replacement and upgrade of 5 existing 500 kV switches to 4,000 amp ratings. The 230 kV bus will be extended by installing new foundations and support structures, along with 2 new 230 kV switches, replacement and upgrade of 2 existing 230 kV switches to 4,000 amp ratings, and installing new bus conductors to reconnect the relocated transformer bank. The project also requires expansion of the substation yard by approximately 150 feet to the east to accommodate the relocated transformer bank, the associated 230 kV bus extension, and the 500 kV bus additions. The expansion will occur on land currently owned by Mississippi Power. Therefore, Mississippi Power does not anticipate requiring any new rights-of-way to support the project. The project is expected to require approximately 18 months to complete following the start of construction, which is anticipated early in fourth quarter of 2026. The total estimated cost of the project is approximately $53 million, and Mississippi Power will be responsible for 100% of the cost of the project. It is estimated that the project would increase a 1,000 kilowatt hour residential customer monthly bill by approximately 27 cents per month. Except for engineering plans and specifications, the filing is complete. The company has requested a waiver of this requirement, and staff does not object to this request. Staff agrees the facilities will strengthen the transmission system in the area and maintain a critical interconnection with Entergy and MISO. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the project.
Thank you, Ms. Myrick. Do you have any questions? Commissioner Carr, you're recognized.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to table this issue because I'm still trying to quite understand what's going on here. I'd like some more data from Southern Company, Mississippi Power.
Commissioner Stamps, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Could I hear from staff about the effects of the timeline if we do table this issue?
Yes, Ms. Myrick, if you can answer the question. What would be the repercussions of tabling this for 30 days?
That would be a question more appropriate for the company.
Any objections to recognize Southern Company? Hearing none, you're recognized.
Alexander Martin with Mississippi Power. We expect that we plan to start construction in the fourth quarter of this year. So we would prefer it to be approved today, but it would not be fatal to the project if it didn't go forward today. And we can definitely work to provide you any additional information that you would need so that we could get it approved at the next open meeting.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? You've heard the motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Myrick. Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Moving on to item number 2, docket number 2026 UN 38. Ms. Myrick, you're recognized to present item number 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, Mississippi Power filed its annual ad valorem tax adjustment factor on June 12th. The ad valorem tax adjustment clause, Schedule ATA-2, recovers or refunds any difference between the ad valorem taxes included in the company's rates and those actually paid. The proposed factor will increase from 0.009107 cents per kilowatt hour to 0.009927 cents per kilowatt hour. The monetary amount associated with the change in the ATA factor is an increase of approximately $7.4 million. The proposed increase in the ATA factor will increase a 1,000 kilowatt hour residential bill by approximately 82 cents per month. The increase is primarily driven by an increase in the actual tax payments made in 2025 and an increase in the prior period under recovery. The increase is partially offset by higher forecasted sales expected in the rate period, driven by new large load growth in 2026 and 2027, and a decrease in the special contract discount applicable for the rate period. If approved, the proposed factor is scheduled to go into effect during the first billing cycle of September. Staff has reviewed the filing along with its supporting documentation. Staff verified that the filing is in compliance with the approved ATA rider schedule, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you, Ms. Myrick. I've heard the explanation. Any questions on the item? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 2 is approved. Thank you, Ms. Myrick. Next is the telecommunications agenda. Item number 1, docket number 2001 UA 451. Mr. Jones, you're recognized to present item number 1 on telecommunications.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Cellular South Licenses, a subsidiary of C Spire, has timely filed its annual FCC Form 481, along with all other certifications required by the revised eligible telecommunication carrier checklist as set forth in the PSC's November 15th, 2012 order and docket 2005 AD 62. These filings confirm that the federal high-cost support provided to Cellular South licenses was used in the preceding 2025 calendar year and will be used in the upcoming 2027 calendar year only for the provision, maintenance, and upgrading of facilities and services for which the support is intended. After a thorough review of all submission, staff recommends that the Commission certify Cellular South licenses as an ETC for the purpose of continuing to receive such high-cost support for the 2027 Universal Service Fund program year.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any questions?
No, sir.
Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 1 on the telecommunications agenda is approved. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Second item on the telecommunications agenda, docket number 2001 UA 573. Mr. Jones, you're recognized for this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, each of the 15 carriers listed under telecommunications agenda item number 2 have timely filed their FCC Form 481s along with all other certifications required by the ETC carrier checklist as set forth in docket number 2005 AD 0062. These filings again confirm that the high-cost support provided to each of these carriers was used in the preceding 2025 calendar year and will be used in the upcoming 2027 program year, only for the provision, maintenance, and upgrading of facilities and services for which the support is intended. After a review of the submission of each of these carriers, the staff recommends the Commission certify each as an ETC for the purpose to continue to receive such high-cost support for the 2027 Universal Service Fund program year.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Heard the gentleman's explanation. Any questions on the item? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 3 is approved. Thanks again, Mr. Jones. Item number 4, docket number 2026 UA 25. Mr. Jones, you're recognized to present this item.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. In the telecom agenda item number 3 listed, each of the companies, the 25 companies listed there, have timely filed their annual FCC Form 481s, along with all certifications required by the PSC's order in docket number 2005 AD 62. These filings confirm that the federal high-cost support each company received was used in 2025 and will be used in 2027 only for the provision, maintenance, and upgrading of the facilities and services for which the support is intended. After a thorough review of all submission, the staff recommends that each of these carriers be certified as an ETC for the purpose to continue to receive such high-cost support for the 2027 program year.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Yes, sir.
Heard the gentleman's explanation. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Jones. There are no items on the water sewer agenda this month. We'll move to the,
You got one more.
oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Jones, you're recognized to present the next item.
Okay. Thank you, sir. This is a discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 26, UA 25, concerning the petition for approval of the transfer control of Spectratel South and Air Spring to Spectrum Aggregator LP. This petition seeks approval for the transfer control of Spectratel South and Air Spring, both of which are certificated in Mississippi to provide local and inter-exchange telecommunications services. Spectratel of the South is headquartered in Neptune, New Jersey. They provide resold voice and business data services to small and medium-sized businesses and enterprise customers across the U.S. AirSpring is based in Clearwater, Florida. They provide resold voice and business data services to business customers throughout the U.S. and Canada. The transaction has two components. First, Spectrum Aggregator, an entity managed by Charles Bank Capital Partners, will acquire a majority ownership interest in Spectratel Ultimate Holdings, the parent of Spectratel of the South. Second, the Spectratel Ultimate will acquire all equity interest in AirSpring. Following these steps, both companies will operate under the ultimate control of Charles Bank, with an affiliate of Grain Management retaining a minority interest. The petitioners state that no customers will experience any interruption. There'll be no changes to rates, no changes to terms and conditions of their service. Both entities will continue to provide their existing certificated services in Mississippi, and the petitioners also state that the transaction will enhance financial resources, improve operational efficiency, and strengthen competitive capabilities. The parties have a companion petition pending before the FCC right now. I estimate it to be approved by the FCC in the next 2 weeks. Comment period is closed and there's been no objection, so it should go through approval there. The staff has reviewed the filing, finds it to be in proper order, and recommends that the commission approve the transfer control as requested in the petition, contingent on receiving FCC approval.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Yes, sir.
Any questions or comments concerning item number 4? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you again, Ms. Jones.
Thank you, sir.
There are no items on the water sewer agenda this month. We'll move on to the administrative agenda. Item number 1, adoption of the minutes for July 2026. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The commission minutes for July are approved. Administrative item number 2. Commissioner Stamps, you're recognized to present this item.
That's not mine.
Item number 2.
National Water Quality Month.
Who's presenting that? Rachel?
Recognizing water and wastewater operations. in
Mhm.
Mississippi.
Gotcha. Thank you, Rachel. So this month is obviously water and wastewater operations in Mississippi, and we have a resolution recognizing all the water and wastewater operators in the state and what they do to provide for the people. I'll just read the resolution. The Mississippi Public Service Commission is committed to ensuring the safety, reliability, and quality of water systems that serve homes, businesses, industries, and communities across the state. And Mississippi water and wastewater operators perform essential, highly skilled, and often demanding work to treat, test, and deliver clean, safe drinking water, and to properly test and manage wastewater on a continuous, round-the-clock basis. These dedicated men and women serve the water treatment plants, distribution systems, and wastewater facilities in every corner of our state, standing ready each day to safeguard public health and ensure the continuity of service and Mississippi water and wastewater operators routinely labor outdoors and in mechanical rooms to the peak of summer, enduring extreme heat and humidity to inspect equipment, repair lines, and monitor treatment processes, often for long hours under difficult and physically taxing conditions. The willingness of these operators to work through sweltering conditions without interruption to service demonstrates exceptional dedication, resilience, and a steadfast commitment to the communities and the people they serve. The tireless efforts of Mississippi's water and wastewater operators ensure that families remain healthy, businesses remain productive, and communities remain safeguarded, making their service indispensable to the state's public health and quality of life. August is recognized nationally as Water Quality Month, a time to raise public awareness of the importance of clean water and honor the professionals who work to protect and preserve the vital resource for the benefit of all Mississippians. Now therefore be it resolved, the Mississippi Public Service Commission hereby recognizes the water and wastewater operators of Mississippi and expresses its profound gratitude for their skill, endurance, and unwavering commitment, particularly for the continued service through the heat of summer months in keeping Mississippi's communities supplied with clean, safe water. For the resolution, any comments? Commissioner Stamps?
Well, first, I appreciate you for recognizing this month as Water Quality Month. We have a charge to deliver that. We've been responding as a commission in an unprecedented way in making sure the investments are necessary by putting the appropriate rate structures and governance into systems, and I look forward to continuing to doing that duty and more of it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any comments? Commissioner Carr?
Yeah, it's very encouraging. The last couple of months, I was noticing the Harrison County wastewater. I think they approved, qualified 5 or 6 new operators. And when I looked at them, it looked like they were all it was in their mid-20s. So that's encouraging that our young folks are stepping up into our industry, which so many times goes unnoticed, especially the water and the sewer people, because most of their work is in the ground. The environment is not quite to their liking most of the time. It's very encouraging to see those young men and women being involved in our utilities. Thank you.
Commissioner Stamps?
I'd like to add one additional comment. Commissioner Carr brought to mind, as he genuinely always does, the hard work of the young people that are in the industry, the sacrifices that they make. And today we got hard-working folks working 40 and 50 hours a week in a sewer hole with somebody else's sewer, making less than we think they should make. Mm-hmm. And we definitely have to continue to recognize them, but put the things in place necessary to pay them, because that's yeoman's work. That's not their sewer line. That's the duty of the sewer line that they serve, and they stand up for it every day, and I appreciate you for recognizing them in this regard.
Thank you both. I can empathize a little bit. As some people know, I was in the RV industry, and so we hold that wastewater in tanks, and sometimes the valve fails, and you have to get that valve undone with all that material behind that valve. It is awful. So I can empathize a little bit on what they have to go through every day. I mean, I only had to go through it once or twice, and it was, it was one of those things that I thank God for people that are willing to do the dirty jobs, as Mike Rose said. You know, there's a lot of jobs that happen every day that give us a quality of life that we take for granted, and it's the wastewater and the water treatment. Those things are key functions of society to have good health and a thriving society and communities. So without wastewater, getting that wastewater out of a community, we know that those communities without proper wastewater treatment are very sick communities, and the standard of living in life is very short and not very long. So it is a huge benefit, and we're so thankful to be able to have those honor those people that provide those services to us. And you know, I agree. It should be a job that pays well, and hopefully we have young people that continue wanting to do that work. So we do have a video to recognize some of our wastewater and water treatment professionals in the state. So we'll play the video.
Hi, my name is Bill Rutledge. I'm on the Rural Water Board. I've been on the board for over 20 years. My job is I work for Mississippi 811, Damage Prevention Coordinator. I want to thank Mississippi Rural Water for putting on these kind of conferences and the support all over the state. Without them, I don't know where we'd be.
Hey, I'm Charles Pickering. I work with Mississippi Rural Water. I've been here supporting water operators in the state for around 4 years.
I'm Josh Sanderson. I'm with Shady Grove Water. Also serve as Vice President on the board for Mississippi Rural Water. I've been a certified operator for 12 years now.
Michael Huff, Town of Pelahatchie. I've been a water and wastewater operator for 4 years.
My name is Paul Carpenter. I've been with the City of Boonville for 18 years, but I finished the apprenticeship program a year ago and I'm now the operator.
Hello, I'm Danny Morrow. I'm with Progress Water in Purvis, Mississippi. Been an operator and manager for 26 years.
I'm Richard Seaburn from Harrisville Water. I've been the water operator for the last 19 years.
Hi, my name is Destiny Redmond. I've been in the water industry for about 8.5 years. I work for Mississippi Rural Water Association and I'm a Class B water operator.
I'm David Potts. I work for the town of Ryanzie in North Mississippi, and I've been the water operator there for 19 years.
Great job on the video. Great job on the video, Rachel.
She always does an amazing job.
She does. So I've heard the resolution of a motion.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks again. Oh, I do have a correction. We had an error on the agenda. I'd like to recognize Catherine Collier.
The agenda under number 3 on telecom, and that is 4-county fiber. That's docket number 21 UA6. The order was circulated with the rest of them, so if one of you would be so kind as to make a motion to add that by unanimous consent.
So moved.
Thank you.
You have a motion, have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and now that item is before the commission.
So you've heard the correction. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Jones, if you wanted to.
Oh, sorry.
On the agenda, third telecom agenda item, one of those, they've filed all their required filings, their FCC Form 481, and also the requirements of the PSC's order. So we'd recommend them to be recertified for 2027 also.
Okay.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Thank you, Ms. Collier.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next item. Commissioner Stamps, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This next resolution, recently at our conference at NARUC, the Water Committee passed this resolution supporting affordability programs in this country. I'm going to read the resolution first and then offer some supporting commentary. Resolution supporting the establishment of a permanent federal water affordability program, whereas the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021, which became law on December 27, 2020, provided $638 million to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Community Services, and Administration for Children and Families for grants to carry a low-income household water assistance program. Whereas a resolution was adopted in February 2022, the National Association of Regulatory Utility Commissioners observes that helping struggling customers pay their water and wastewater bills takes the combined efforts of utilities, regulators, policy leaders, and communities, and listed several ways in which states could address water affordability, including via establishment of rate-funded assistance programs, and additional resolution titled Urging the Establishment of a Permanent Federal Water Affordability Program was adopted at the 2026 Policy Summit. Whereas the resolution adopted at the 2026 Policy Summit observed that the affordability of water and wastewater services is a critical issue facing low-income households. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, in its 2024 Water Affordability Needs Assessment, estimated that between 12.1 million and 19.2 million households throughout the United States lack affordable access to water services. Whereas rising costs for maintaining and operating rate systems are resulting in higher rates for ratepayers. The cost of utilities, coupled with limited income, have imposed a financial strain on thousands of families across the United States. Whereas OCS reported in the LIWAP Implementation and Impact Final Report that during the life of the program, LIWAP served 1,535,838 households, preventing 923,583 disconnections, restored water services 101,687 times, and reduced 1,120,417 water bills, issuing a total of 2,145,687 water assistance benefits to households in need. The LIWAP grant recipient annual report showed that the benefits went to the utilities, to households that needed the most, and the utilities who also need the most. Whereas LIWAP programs not only benefit customers, they benefit the waste and wastewater utilities that stabilize by stabilizing the revenues. LIWAP programs assist water utilities in making continuous investments. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mississippi Public Service Commission does hereby support the establishment of a federal low-income household water assistance program. Now, the Greatest Generation came back to this country, and I've patterned the majority of my service behind the Greatest Generation and the veterans of that generation, as I believe that's what the veterans of this generation should do. Come back from the wars and set the country up for success. They identified that this country was in a situation where it had very strong needs and not few abilities of the citizenry. And the federal government chipped in to help build most of the infrastructure. We have failed them. We have failed them because we've not continually raised rates over time and dug things up and put pipe in ground. We failed them because we've not maintained the systems and structures that they put in place for us. They could not have imagined that their children and many of their grandchildren have not replaced the work that they did by redoing our water infrastructure. Now we're in a situation where we have an affordability problem. Minimum wage is locked at where it is. The ability for people to pay for the services they're providing is becoming limited and will become even greater, more limited as we do our job. Our duty as regulators is to set the correct rate, the rate necessary to rebuild the systems. Because if we don't, the systems fail when we don't do that. Now, when we do our duty of setting the correct rate, the people that pay the water bill may not have the money to pay for that. And because government has not had the backbone to do what's necessary over the last 70 years, we're asking for government to help save these water systems. The citizens don't get the money, the utilities get the money. And just like the federal government offers major incentives to the electrical industry, to the gas industry, through all kinds of funding programs, all we're proposing in the Water Committee at NARUC, and this is a NARUC resolution, which is supported bipartisan across the whole country, is for the federal government to do the same thing to these struggling water systems. And with it being, we just recognized the month. Every worker that you saw on that screen who is in those sewer holes every day needs the equipment, supplies, and income to continue to do that every day. Paying people what this state pays water operators and wastewater operators specifically is not enough for them to make that sacrifice to limit their lives and their livelihood so that we can all move forward and prosper. They're locked into an economic structure that they can't get out of because the people they serve don't have the money to help them do that. And so what we're proposing is to support this resolution so that we can move forward and get more federal support for the water needs of this country. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Stamps. I agree with a lot of the resolution. I think the part that I would I take a divergent path is I don't know that we need the federal government to continue to create a program to help those struggling. We do know that people are struggling. I know that as a Christian and as a member of a local body, that churches spend a ton of time and effort trying to help their communities. I know one gentleman that goes all around the world subsidizing water and wastewater for people in foreign countries. We need to bring attention to that need so those faith-based and community organizations can help the need that Commissioner Stamps is talking about. I think the government governs best that's closer to the people. We know our neighbors, we feel their suffering. We need to alleviate that. And to Commissioner Stamps' point, if rates continue to climb, which we've seen that because the cost of the inflation and things like that, we do need to start looking at alternatives to try to help those. But I think ultimately it's incumbent upon our communities and our community leaders and our faith-based organizations to fill that gap. At the appropriate time, I would like to move to strike that motion and offer substantive motion to this resolution. Do I have a second?
No, I already moved for the first motion.
Yeah, I would strike that motion and offer a substantive motion. Substitute. Do I have a motion and a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I haven't heard the substitute of motion, but could we take one item up first and then take the second item up that you're proposing after we put it on the floor, hear it, and discuss it?
My motion is to strike that motion and replace it with another. So I'll read the substitute resolution.
Okay.
So the substitute resolution, the affordability of water, wastewater, and other essential utility services remains a critical concern for many low-income households throughout Mississippi. Rising costs associated with maintaining and operating utility systems continue to place financial strain on Mississippi families, particularly those on fixed or limited incomes. Mississippi is proudly known across the nation as the hospitality state, a title earned through generations of Mississippians opening their homes, their churches, and their hearts to neighbors and strangers alike. The Holy Bible instructs in Hebrews 13:2, "Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Calling upon communities and faith to extend hospitality and lead assistance to those in need. Throughout Mississippi's history, it has been the churches, civic organizations, business leaders, and everyday neighbors who have stepped forward time and time again during hardships to lift up families struggling to meet their basic needs. Local businesses, faith congregations, and community organizations across Mississippi proposes the compassion, local knowledge, and resources to identify, assist families facing water and utility hardships directly and effectively. The Mississippi Public Service Commission believes that the strength of our communities is found not in the dependence upon distant government programs, but the willing of Mississippians to care for one another. The Mississippi Public Service Commission does not call upon and does hereby call upon, encourage business leaders, churches, civic and charitable organizations, and citizens of Mississippi. There's an error here. Northern District should be Mississippi. To come together in the spirit of Mississippi hospitality to identify neighbors in need and provide direct assistance with water and utility costs. The Commission encourages the formation of a local assistance funds, church benevolence programs, and business-sponsored giving initiatives to help ensure that no Mississippi family goes without safe, reliable water service. And the Commission commends those churches, businesses, and individuals across our state who already embody the spirit of Hebrews 13:2 and the hospitality state by quietly assisting their neighbors and encouraging this spirit of hospitality and neighborly care to grow and spread throughout every community in Mississippi. So we agree 100%. I agree with Commissioner Stamps and the need for help for our citizens. We're introduced a resolution that reflects simple but powerful idea, Mississippians taking care of Mississippians. This resolution encourages our churches, business leaders, civic organizations, and neighbors to come together and help families struggling to keep the water on, keep the lights on, keep the sewer processed. Rising utility costs are putting a real strain on families across Mississippi, especially those on fixed or limited incomes. Rather than looking to Washington for a federal program, this resolution calls on the people closest to the problem, our own communities, to lead that response. No one knows a neighbor's struggling situation better than those next door, the local pastor or the local business owner. Mississippi has long been known as the hospitality state, and that reputation was built by generations of Mississippians doing just that. This resolution asks us to live up to that name, not just as a slogan, but as a call to action. We're asking churches to consider benevolence funds for water and utility assistance. We're asking business leaders to consider sponsoring local giving initiatives. We're asking every citizen to check on a neighbor who may be struggling quietly. This commission cannot legislate compassion, but we can shine a light on it. And we can thank the churches, businesses, and individuals already doing the work every day. Our hope is that the resolution helps that spirit of hospitality grow in every community across Mississippi. So I think the substantive resolution is to recognize the issues that need to be addressed and address them on a local level. I do think that we have a voice, we have a bullhorn that we can marshal those efforts. And I think Mississippi has nationally been recognized as one of the most compassionate states. We give more per capita as Mississippians than any other state in the union. So this is something I think we can do and we should do. So any questions? Commissioner Stamps.
Thank you, and I appreciate the resolution. This resolution is a healthy gesture, but it falls short of what's necessary. The country has a $4 trillion infrastructure gap. Mississippi has a slice of that to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars if necessary. I do not believe I have full faith in the Lord, full faith in our church system. To strain the churches of this state to produce hundreds of billions of dollars to pay for the systems in their own community. Whatever they can do to contribute to that, I'm supportive of that. But I do not think they will be able to solve the real problem. The real problem is Washington, D.C. has failed this country. Washington, D.C. has made utilities political. Washington, D.C. causes the inflation in the first place. The reason why the equipment, the reason why the supplies are rising to unreasonable costs is because of the inflation that Washington, D.C. is causing, the Republicans and the Democrats. So if they can't get the backbone in Washington, D.C. to fix what they're causing, that's their problem. But our situation is we're in the belly of the beast trying to provide the basic thing that people need to live is water. People need water. And if the people in the church can't afford their water bills, how will the church be able to collect enough donations from the people who didn't have the money to pay for the water in the first place? So then they will have to depend on more affluent churches' benevolence on their existence. And whatever that can produce, I will support that. But we should not leave the existence of civilization to the backs of benevolence. Thank you very much.
I appreciate the comments. And in my understanding, reading the resolution, it's asking Washington, in fact, the one that's causing the problem, to help fix the problem. And I think the resolution is to provide water bill assistance, not infrastructure costs. So I would agree with infrastructure costs for sure. I think the crux of it is to try to establish a fund or another government program, to your point, that is causing some of the problems or failed the people of Mississippi and the state, to set up another program to try to pay the bills of those struggling with their utilities, which we hear and agree that that is an issue that needs to be addressed. But that is the bill assistance program is what we're talking about, which the resolution is based around. And I think it does say that if we pay the water bills, then they can invest in the infrastructure. And I think that's the same thing here. If we as a state care about our neighbor, which we do, I think that if we can definitely marshal the funds to help poor people in our communities pay a $50 water bill times ever how many people. So I'll tell this story. It's interesting. When I first took office in the House, I had an elderly lady call me from my community, and she said, "It's getting cold, and I don't have any gas in my tank. Is there a government program to provide LP gas to me?" And I was like, "No, ma'am, not that I know of." And so I did some research. I was a newly elected legislator. And I called her back, and I said, "There's no program, but where do you go to church?" And she told me. So I called the pastor, and I asked him, "Do you know that there's an elderly lady," and I gave him her name, "in the community that's struggling and scared that she's going to freeze to death because she doesn't have a gas in her home?" He's like, "I had no idea." They responded quickly and not only provided the gas for that lady, but they used that as a springboard to check on everybody in the congregation. That's what we're talking about. That's what the substitute resolution is to say, okay, we can call on Washington to help us, but according to my colleague, obviously, and I would agree with him, that they have had a hard time solving the problems. And yet we're going to call on them to help solve yet another problem. If we're talking about water utility bills and utility concerns for those underprivileged in our community, I hear that loud and clear and I agree with it. But I do not think that is too big of an effort for us to take on with businesses in Mississippi, individuals in Mississippi, community organizations, and churches to combine together to make sure that our citizens are not suffering. Infrastructure is a different discussion. again, which these two resolutions don't deal with directly. Commissioner Stamos.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the efforts in drafting a continuing resolution. I won't belabor the time, but everybody in that video works for utility. The money does not go to the citizen. The money goes to the utility. And we're saying to all of the water operators and the water utilities in this state that we're not going to support the federal government assisting the utility because the utility only gets money from the ratepayer. And the electrical industry gets millions of dollars. The gas utilities in this state get millions of dollars. Your local water association does not. So I'll support the subsequent resolution, but this even exacerbates the problem by not accepting the first one. Thank you very much. I yield.
Thank you for your comments. Any other questions? Commissioner Carr?
No, sir.
I've heard the discussion. Do I have a motion to adopt the substitute motion? The substitute.
Do we vote on this, on substituting the motion?
Yes.
Okay, right. So now the vote is to adopt the substitute resolution.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Great discussion, and I do believe that that is something we should do as we, we get outside of our lane a lot, when we see natural disasters like the hurricanes on the coast or tornadoes in the central district or ice storm in the north. We get creative and we do things outside. But I do think that we have an opportunity to take advantage or to act on this issue. And I do think that we can help solve the suffering of our neighbors that can't afford their water, sewer, or electricity bills. And I'm dedicated to try to figure that out. And we'll have some business partners that we'll call on as well. There's a business in the Northern District that actually, during the ice storm, Fern donated 500 generators to an effort to alleviate people from suffering with no power. So I think that that's something that we definitely need to get legs under and something we'll be working on. Okay, next item, discussion and possible action on docket number 2025 UA 120, Greer Energy Storage. Ms. Taylor, you're recognized to present this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This is an order referring this docket to Laura Dixon. In this docket, Laura's going to be considering the certificate application filed by Greer Energy Storage. This is an entity that is seeking permission to construct and operate a battery energy storage facility in Washington County, Mississippi. That's in your district, Commissioner Stantz. She's going to review the filings, conduct the hearings if necessary, and ultimately issue a recommended order for y'all's consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Any questions concerning item?
No.
Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Administrative agenda item number 5, docket number 2025 UA 124. Ms. Taylor, you're recognized to present this item.
Thank you, Commissioners. Sometimes this thing whistles at me. So this order is similar in nature. It's to refer it to Laura. This involves a CPCN to Wildwood Energy Storage LLC to construct a battery energy storage facility in Tallahatchie County, which is your district, Chairman. And she's going to review the filings, conduct the hearings, and ultimately issue a recommendation for y'all to review.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Any comments concerning item number 5? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 5 is approved. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Item number 6, sorry, what you were asking. Item number 6, discussion and possible action, opening a docket to investigate Great River Utility Operation Company. Ms. Taylor, you're recognized to present item number 6.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, this is an order opening a new docket to investigate Great River Operating Company LLC for compliance with Rule 68 of the Rules and Regulations Governing Public Utility Service. This investigation is being initiated because the commission has identified what appears to be some inconsistencies in some of the company's data submissions, and we want to get those clarified. The order also authorizes the executive secretary to draft and publish a request for proposals for an independent third-party consultant to provide an unbiased expert review of the company's records to verify historical accuracy and ultimately deliver findings to the commission.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Any questions concerning this item? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6 is approved. Commissioner Stamps, you recognize.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody's hard work. I do want to give a little bit of an update. In our district, the legislature recently passed some laws that affect water systems across the state, Senate Bill 2310, and we will be reviewing each one of our utilities in the Central District to see are they in compliance with where they need to be, and we'll be working with them to stay in compliance of all state and federal regulations and putting them under a series of review and working with staff to continue to assess their work. The investigators in our office are going to be doing more than they previously have been tasked with. We should not be the complaint department for the utility companies. We should be investigating the rulings that we rule on to ensure the utility companies are doing what they're supposed to do. So we will still take calls that people have for customer service and complaint issues if the utility companies have not resolved them properly. But we will be going into each utility. When we pass something on this agenda, and it's in the Central District, one of our investigators will be walking around with a clipboard to make sure that they are looking at each one of these cases to make sure that those things are done properly, specifically when it comes to water and sewer operations in the Central District.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Carr, you're recognized.
Yeah, I'd like to make an announcement. The Mississippi Public Service Commission will host a Recovery to Resilience Mississippi Coastal Hurricane Preparedness Summit. It's free to the public. It's on Thursday, October the 8th at 9 p.m. at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College Hospitality and Resort Management Center in Biloxi. This event brings together utility providers, emergency officials, statewide, and community leaders to address the Gulf Coast hurricane readiness and the infrastructure resilience and storm recovery planning. A community resilience expo will run alongside the summit, connecting the attendees with the resources and partner organizations, and more information will be released soon. We hope you can join us for this important event. So what we're looking for is to educate this commission and its staff, also to educate our local leaders and statewide officials about recovery and resilience. We're going to hopefully have some federal people there, how they are participants in this, and state officials and state legislators. I think it's been very important. Some of the names that are being brought to the table are willing to participate. So it's going to be a broad, compact event. We want to keep it into a one-day program. Another benefit to it that we didn't know at the time that we picked October the 8th, that's when cruising of the coast is going on. So we have a strong competitor there. So we would like everybody to come down, participate this one day, and the cruising of the coast is 4 days. So you get a double whammy there. So thank you.
Is it a competitor or a captive audience?
Yeah, yeah.
So appreciate your team working on that. It is we had one in Tupelo, and it was amazing how you bring everybody together to try to come up with solutions. And we did a kind of a postmortem on Winter Storm Fern And we learned a lot from that, and how to be more resilient and to bring those people together that actually were impacted. So we had utility operators and others that came and testified, and we had great panels of mayors and supervisors across the impacted areas, all the way from the Mississippi River and the Delta over to the hills of North Mississippi. So it was very worthwhile, and we've learned a lot through our series of summits. And I thank Commissioner Stamps and Commissioner Carr for helping us organize those, and they're online. I go back a lot of times, especially in our nuclear and some of our other summits that we have, and glean more knowledge every time I review it. So appreciate y'all's hard work on the summit. Commissioner Carr.
Yeah, I'd like to remind everybody that, that these are trying times that we're in right now. There's a lot of ideas on the table. I don't think we've been at this point in our country at the place we're in right now. As I look around and my staff looks around and the commissioner's staff, there's a lot of issues that's going on simultaneously. I don't believe, as I've tried to study history, and we've never been in this spot. Never. We have a infrastructure that needs to be rebuilt at the same time that we're trying to keep up with the demand of everything that's going on in our country. This country is at a spot that we're going to have to come together, young and old, and it's not my way or the highway. It's our way as a country, as a community, to come together and work together. And we're going to have to do that. And we're going to have to look at that as we all look at that great generation. They came together. And we're at that point. And so we're going to have to dig down and look at ourselves and see what, as President Kennedy said, it's not what our country is, what we can do for our country. It's what we can do for our community. And I see it everywhere I go. I see the struggles at church and at the community centers. I see people hurting at the grocery store and making choices. I see, because I go shopping with my wife, it's not a choice. It's, hey, we're going to the grocery store, get in the car. And I see people pick stuff up and walk around the aisle and take it off and put something else up. And I know you've seen that in the grocery stores. So we're going to have to come together. And it's a trying time. It's like no other. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Carr. Commissioner Stamps.
Final notes I'll say is that we're, like Commissioner Carr said, we're in a trying time. The next 20 years are going to destabilize the majority of this population. They won't, over half the people will be displaced because of robotics and automation. People will not have the money. So prepare yourselves, get proficient in new technologies, welcome new industries so that we can get through the next 20 years. The next 20 years is going to be rough. And it's going to take everybody working together. And these political divisions and philosophies are going to have to erode for the greater good of America to exist. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Stamps, Commissioner Carr. I have teenage and young children, 20s, and well, they're all 20s now, so showing my age. It's a different time, to Commissioner Stamps' point and Commissioner Carr. It's a very different time. So we do need to be cognizant of the times that we're in and how difficult it is for younger generations, especially, to try to get ahead. You start looking at housing costs and all these other things that are impacting us. And Commissioner Carr said, when you go to the grocery store, when you buy things and go to get ready for school, everything costs more. So we're going to have to make the hard decisions. And Commissioner Stamps touched on it earlier, that a lot of those problems are happening way out of our control. And it's policy driven, and there's not one group that's responsible over another. I think it's a corporate or a collective problem that we need to work together to try to come up with a solution. I do think that that it is incumbent upon us to hear everybody that is suffering in hard times, our elderly and our younger adults. It's amazing to talk to 20-somethings and to hear their struggles, what they're going through. You know, back to medical costs. You know, we were told that our medical costs were going to go down. We spent billions and billions and billions, if not trillions, I'm going to say trillions of dollars, subsidizing health care. I saw a graphic that showed how wealthy one of those insurance companies are today compared to Ford Motor Company, and it was like 1,000 times. It was huge what that effort out of Washington tried to do to help drive down costs, and the inverse happened. So we have to make some very tough decisions, and to Commissioner Stamps' point, seems like there's very little appetite to try to solve the problem, and you know, that's what Commissioner Carr quoted JFK. I'll quote Reagan. Both of them great presidents, but you know, subsidizing generally results in higher costs. We've seen that over and over again. We see it in insurance costs for medical care and also for our university costs. We've watched college just go out of sight to where the average student can't afford to pay for it themselves. And you have these huge Band-Aids to try to fix it by these student loans. Well, I got a friend of mine over 45 years old still paying on those student loans. It's oppressive. It's a burden around our necks, and we do have to make tough decisions moving forward, how we solve those real issues. What can we do as a Public Service Commission? We can do the small things that can impact our neighbor today, and then use our bullhorn to try to sound the alarm to try to solve the problems of tomorrow as well. But I thank both of my colleagues for working together and us trying to make Mississippi a better place. And the brighter Mississippi shines, the brighter the country will shine, hopefully, as a result. But Mississippi's in good spot, and I think we'll continue to grow and make the tough decisions to try to make sure that people of Mississippi get the utilities they deserve. Any other questions? Any other business to come before the commission? Hearing none, we stand adjourned. Thanks.